This deck gives you the ability to win a game with no units. What I found during my play with this is that this deck is dead against Brit Air. They just don't have enough pinning for air units to be able to fit into the deck to be able to really control that early aggression that Brit Air can do. But otherwise, it played pretty good. I mean, it's not like a top of the ladder deck. You're not going to go top 10 Officers Club with this, but you can have some fun. And you know, when you're getting annoyed at maybe some aggro or whatever, you can try this deck out and see if you could just annoy your opponents a little bit. It's not my style of deck really to play. I just kind of wanted to try something new and different. I'm a pure aggro player, as everybody knows by now. But this deck was a little bit fun, and I don't know, it was kind of surprising, we'll say. I liked it. It was kind of fun to play a couple times. So let's just take a look at the deck and see what it is. So I call it unitless, using the nice new card back we got for the World Championship 2020 qualifications. All right, so we're going with Imperial Decree, so that our damages, the next damage order will give 1+ to the damage. And because we have a bunch of cards that do deal 1 damage, like Shelling, the Desert Rats, Naval Operation, Tora. What else? We got a couple Blockade, you know, so there's opportunities, Air Power, there's opportunities to increase the damage of those cards using the Imperial Decree. So that fits in there. And on top of it, if you have a couple of these in your hand and your opponent manages to do some healing, you could tack on a few damage points to Commonwealth. So instead of doing 20, it could do 21 or 22. So for anybody who hasn't seen Commonwealth yet, Commonwealth is an elite card for Britain. It deals 20 damage to the target HQ only if your HQ has 30 health or more. So you have to heal your HQ to at least 30, and then you could use this card to deal 20 damage to your opponent. There is some other damage to the HQ in this deck as well, so you can combine with this. So if you are going against like Soviet or Brits that like to do a lot of healing, you have Daylight Bombing, deal 2 damage to any target, so that could hit face. You have Air Power could hit face, Blockade could hit face, and you've got Tora will hit face. And so if you combine these with the Imperial Decree, for example, and that'll allow you to give a little bit of extra bump to those, so that if you're hitting face, you could chip away at it a little bit more. Because the ultimate goal is that when you play Commonwealth, they're at 20 or less, so you get the win. You don't want them to be up above that, because you really don't have a lot of options to hit the HQ beyond the Commonwealth and those few other cards that I just said. And odds are that you're going to use some of these cards throughout the game to control the enemy's units that they're playing down. And so some other sort of area of effect cards in here to help really slow the enemy down is Shelling, Carpet Bombing. Long Range Recon is great for our healing. You get a lot of heal off that. And our Fortifications for our healing. Pin all enemy ground units for area effect. Tora's area of effect. So lots of really all just control. As you can see, no units in this deck whatsoever. And you just drop that Commonwealth on down for the end victory. And obviously, when you're playing Britain and you see that your opponent is playing a couple of pin cards, they haven't played any units, you're getting on to turn 4, turn 5, you start to know that this is a Commonwealth deck, right? The enemy of Commonwealth really is Blackwatch. If you get Blackwatched with this in your hand, you won't be able to play it because there's no ramp in here, and it'll become 14 credits, so it's a dead card and you're basically going to lose. So you don't want this card to get Blackwatched, and you need to find it. So it's kind of one of those blessing and a curse, and you need to find the card so you could use it. So getting it early is like relieving. You know you got your win condition in your hand, but if you're against Britain, you're definitely going to be nervous that if they play a Blackwatch, you lose your win condition pretty fast. And so for card draw, we got Convoy in here. And that's it. Check it out. Watch the game. Try out the deck. The deck code's below. That's it. We'll catch you on the next one, guys. Have a good time. All right. Here we go. No units. We're going to win a game without playing any units. Enemy located. Who's going to be our victim? Bernie DeBal. Hey, I think I know that guy. Here we go. No units. Mirror match. British versus British. So the win condition is Commonwealth. So we got to not let him heal, and we've got to get ourselves above 30. We're going to get rid of anything overly expensive here. Keep the 1s and 2s. He's Britain, so I'm not too worried about too much. If he's Brit Air, we lose. That's the bottom line, so we're just going to hope he's not Brit Air. And here we go. So nothing to do here. We just keep going. I mean, if he's not playing cards, we're not playing cards. All our cards are control-based, so dealing damage or healing. And timing is always a weird thing with this deck. I mean, there's an infantry. If he wants to move it up, which he's probably not planning to move it up because he's thinking defensively with it, but if he does, it's going to cost him a credit. So Do we pin it or not? Right? Do we go ahead and deal the 1 damage and pin it to use up our cards? Might as well, I guess. Here we go. We knock it down 1. And now we see what he's doing here. So it doesn't seem to be a Brit Air deck, or else he would have been dropping some Swordfish or Gladiator. So we found our Commonwealth already, which is good and bad. Versus Britain, we're kind of scared about a Blackwatch now. If he does Blackwatch us, we're game over, because our only win condition is Commonwealth. And so we really got to hope that there is no Blackwatches coming from our friend Bernie DeBal. Well, so we play Seaforth Highlanders. That's a big body. Only deals 1 damage to us, and we don't have any units, so we're not worried about that 4 attack on our turn. So it's really now just a matter of strategically planning how to play out our cards and make it to turn 12 effectively with the Commonwealth already in hand. So we go do daylight bombing against his HQ. It's not going to give us much against Highlanders, so we go ahead and we do it against his HQ, and that gives us a chance to do some damage and offset some of his healing. Alright, so long range recon, here we go. We heal. Not a bad heal. We get 7. I'd say he can ping us for 1. Big deal, right? I mean, we're not too worried about that right now. And Shelling is an interesting card because, I mean, we want to play it out, but, you know, how many units is he going to get on board? He's not playing very many units either right now, which is interesting. He's probably figured out that we're basically a Commonwealth deck by now because we're playing all these control orders. I mean, obviously, if you're playing against somebody like our deck and they're not playing any units and they're healing, odds are it's a CW deck. So we pin them all down with Shelling. Pass it back. Alright, so, okay, we top deck Naval Ops, so that's more pinning. That's great. We'll just keep pinning him down and deals 1 damage to all the ground units. We'll draw first, though, in case we get a better option. Always draw first when you can draw, so that you see what all your options are with your remaining credits. So we go ahead with Naval Op, pin them all down again. So we're on turn 7. We've cost him some credit slots. Okay, so he plays whatever that's called. I can't remember what it's called, but it takes all the damage from the HQ. So now we got to deal the 7 damage to that. It's basically like a 7 heal for him, because the first 7 damage will not... The first attack, so say we played Commonwealth and that was on the board, that thing would actually eat the whole Commonwealth. It doesn't just eat the damage or the health that it has. So you have to be aware of that. So you would never want to just think that you had him low enough, play Commonwealth, and that'll just take 7, the rest will go on the HQ. The damage doesn't divide. It just all goes on whatever target's supposed to receive it. So we got to get rid of that before we can Commonwealth. We got 4 turns to do so. Kind of setting up a Carpet Bomb here, right? So we got the Carpet Bomb in hand. We're going to try to get all of his units down to 3 health so that our Carpet Bomb could just clean off the board for us. He's playing really slow, which is really helpful for us. I mean, this deck doesn't have a super high win rate. I mean, you're not going to win 80% of your games with it. I mean, I think I played 5 games and I won 2 or 3 times. I mean, it's a 40 or 50% win rate, I guess, depending on how it goes. A lot of Brit Air right now, so Brit Air really shuts it down pretty fast because the pinning, a lot of the pinning is for ground units. So we got a great Carpet Bomb here now. It'll take care of the that elite that's going to take the damage off the HQ. And we got 3 more turns we got to survive and keep our HQ above 30. So that's basically the focus here, right? Keep our HQ above 30 so that the Commonwealth will work. But we also need to eliminate that 2-2 over there. So we draw some cards. Royal Research. That's not bad. Really, this is here. I like this for Radar because Radar will heal us 4 on our HQ plus draw a card. So it's not a bad combo card. So we're going to go ahead and Carpet Bomb this. Takes out those 3 units. Leaves the Mosquito on the board. So that's 4 damage. That's a lot of damage. We only have 8 damage we can give up here. Wow, so then he puts that down. And so we're going to turn 11. Okay, so this is... okay, so we've got Imperial Decree. Don't really need that right now. So we're going to draw a card here, so we get... So we get Forts. That's decent. So we can kill the Mosquito. And then we could heal more with Forts. Or we can go with Radar. So we're going to go Radar. Gives us a heal. And gives us a card draw. There we go. We get Imperial Decree. Not that big of a deal. Imperial Decree could be handy with Commonwealth if we had to. So say all of a sudden right now he healed. Imperial Decree would make our Commonwealth do 21 damage instead of 20. And we have 2 of them, so we could do 22 damage. Yeah, so he doesn't have enough to do anything here. We already got him. So now we're worried. He left 2 credits, so we're worried about interception right now. and he went Ultra. I'm just testing for any countermeasures with that Imperial Decree, even though it wouldn't work with the Ultra. And there we go, win the game, boom. So we beat the guy, no units played by us, strictly 100% control. Nice little change of pace, considering how much I love aggro. And that's it. Good luck.